All right, it says we are live. Hello, Gun Nation. How's everyone doing? I hope y'all are doing well this evening. I got a little bit of sinus junk going on, so you have to bear with me. But yeah, I was wondering who was going to be next, and it was Pistol Pete. So I was like, I bet it's going to be Pistol Pete, and it was. So we've got Dirt Track, Floridian, Lynn Holt, Rich B. So I hope everyone is doing well. I am out traveling this week. I was in Amarillo earlier. I am in Lubbock now, Lubbock, Texas. If y'all are familiar with Lubbock, West Texas. Good old dust and dirt flying everywhere. Hello, Gabriel. How are you? The CZ and Dan Weston had a beautiful baby. Yeah, I'm sure you're probably talking about the DWX. But yeah, and I titled it this evening "Carry On" because kind of got to talk about a little bit of situational awareness. It kind of happened this weekend. I went out to dinner with my family, and I'm kind of known for this. They've known this forever, and even with my friends, if we go out and stuff, I'm real particular about where I sit or where we sit, and how my body is facing. Um, like facing the door so I can see. Like my back to the front door. That kind of stuff. Hello, Chris. How are you? Mike Kai, Floridian is in San Antonio. But and I always catch crap for that. They're like, "Why do you have to sit there? Why do you want to sit over here? Why do you want to sit over there?" And then I'll explain it to them. I'm like, "Well, if somebody comes in, and is going to do riffraff stuff, hood rat crap, um, you want to be able to see it coming." And once I explain it, they kind of get it. But my buddy was like, "Oh, it really doesn't matter, blah blah blah." And I'm like, "Okay, you put your back there, so that way you can just block if something bad happens. You can give me cover." And he was like, "No, that's okay. We'll sit where you want." Hello, Lake Ozark guy, Dennis Buckner. Uh, PP Pilladurum Pictures. I'm probably goofing that all up. No, nobody's having a Bud tonight. Don't do Bud anymore. Dumped all. I only had two Bud Lights left back then, and dumped those out. I'm really a bourbon drinker anyway, but usually keep them for guests or something like that. But do y'all ever think about stuff like that? Like, hey, if you go to a restaurant with your family, or things like that, or is that like over paranoid? Um, is are you aware of your situational awareness? And this is another thing. I see people walking out to their cars all the time, and they've got their head in their phone, and they're going to walk into a pole, or the damn car's about to run over them in a parking lot. They're just not paying a bit of attention. So if they were walking to their car and some bad guys were at their car, if it's a young lady or something like that, if you're not situational aware, look around, see what the hell's going on. I just I don't understand, why people just are so locked into their phone and can't pay attention to what the hell's going on. I have to face the door when we eat out. Yeah, Dennis, that's what I was talking about. I just kind of, it's just, I've been like that forever. And it's not an OCD thing. It's just, you know, and again, I don't think it's paranoid. I think it's just preparedness. Nothing wrong with strategic seating, knowing ingress, egress. Yeah. Yep. But boy, some of my buddies are like, "Oh man, you think the world's gonna end and blah blah blah," and it's like, no, no, not at all. I mean, you just don't know. There's a lot of crazy people out there. I mean, if you see some guys coming in with hoods on and freaking shotguns or something, they're not there just to, not there to say hi. Also park away from other cars, even though I have to walk further. Yeah, I kind of do too. Just for door dings and stuff like that. It doesn't bother me to walk. Trust me, I can use it. Phones are the devil. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Rich B says, "I'm with you. Facing the door changes or chances or nothing will ever happen. But the one time you're not paying attention, yep, 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 yep. But yeah, and I was leaving Monday, heading out of town, and I got to where was I? Fort Worth, and going to Abilene. I got to Fort Worth and saw my first customer, and I came out, and I know my truck. We all know our vehicles, and I walked out, and I was like, "Huh, that looks like a little fresh drop at the front, the very front." So I looked up under there, felt it, and of course it was red, and I was smelling it, and I was like, "Shit, that's coolant." Um, so anyway, I looked all up under there and popped the hood, and I did have to get a flashlight because it was kind of dark in that one area. But the tank seam, so you've got the radiators, and they have tanks on the side, and it's called a tank seam. My tank seam was actually dripping, starting to separate. So if I would have driven about my trip and took off, probably would have been stuck somewhere with no coolant in the truck. So I was able to, get it back local, uh, and I've got warranty on the truck still. So I took it in the dealer and I said, hey, it's got a tank seam leaking, so it's going to need a new radiator, and that's covered. So I dropped it off, and a buddy of mine is well, he's a sales director there. And I said, I need a truck. So he gave me a 2022 loaded Rebel four-wheel drive, four door, moon roof, or it's that big, huge panoramic sunroof, leather, the whole works. But it's a 1500 Eco Diesel. So it's a 3 liter Eco Diesel. I've had the 12 valve, I had the 24 valve and all that stuff, but I've never had the Eco Diesel. So he's like, hey, check this out, see what you think about it. So I'm like, okay. So I've been driving it quite a bit, Abilene, Lubbock, all that stuff. And it's crazy, man. The wind, I mean, it was blowing like crazy, and a headwind, side wind, tailwind, everything. That truck is getting like 24.7 miles to the gallon. I mean, it's pretty insane. Um, and it's not fluctuating up and down. I mean, it's staying pretty constant. But it is weird putting diesel in a truck now. I haven't had a diesel in forever. But anyway, they're fixing mine. So, because hell, if it's under warranty, I'm just going to have them do it. But anyway, so I am driving a loaded Eco Diesel for the first time. So, kind of different. Hello, A Dubs. Hello, reloading from the hot pot. And Chris from the 740 is going to have his chat after this one. So please tune in. Pistol Pete says, I have no problem with people thinking anything they want about me. You do you and let me do me. Yeah, and I mean, these are my buddies and all that other stuff, so I just tell them to screw off. And for my own family, that's said that, hey, why are you worried about this and why are you worried about that? I said, it's my job to protect y'all. So they get it. And they're not freaked out about it. But, when a waitress goes, well, here, we're going to sit you here. I'm like, no, can I have that table over there? Sometimes they don't like that, but they'll get over it. Did you take your truck gun home first before the switch? Truck gun home. I had my gun on me, and I had my other thing with me. But no, I before I dropped my truck off in the actual service lane, I had called him and went over and switched my stuff over to the new truck, and then dropped my truck off at the service drive, and they got all the paperwork and everything, and then went back and got the other truck that was just they were real close within walking distance from one another. Hello, A-Dubs. Let's see here. 21 miles to gallon in my F-150 and A6. Yeah, I my Ram. Um, Hello, Scott. How are you? Dennis Buckner says, "What's your average MPG on the gas Ram?" It's a 5.7 Hemi. It is a multi-displacement, so it turns from a V8 to a six-cylinder. However, it's not stock. Um, it's hopped up quite a bit, so it's not super gas friendly. Let's just say that. I mean, in a good headwind, I can get 21 miles to the gallon um, in a good headwind, or excuse me, tailwind, meaning push me. Um, I usually average 17, 18, something, as long as I don't put my foot in it. Hello, David Wilcott. G23, how are you? Hello, Tradbo. Anyone want to learn how to say hello in Yupik? I'm not familiar with Yupik. What is that? I mean, obviously it's a language, but sorry. See, I even do these chats sick. Uncle Dan wins 26.9. Oh, Alaskan Indian. Okay. Native people in Alaska. Sure. How do you say it? How do you say hello in Yupik? Because I don't know. Oh, okay. Let's see here. Way up. Well, I'm going to screw this up. Let's see here. Hang on. Way Akoa. Wayakoa. Hopefully, I'm saying it right. My Spanglish is probably messing it up. 44.6 in your Nissan Rogue. Wow. All right, Lake Ozark guy is saying, hate to change the topic. I don't really have a topic. We were just kind of discussing some things. So if y'all have questions, please ask away. Hey, change topic, but I want to modify my Glock slide with some cuts and a red dot. Would you send the slide off or just buy a new slide? Who would you send it to? Uh, if you buy a slide, which you can, depending on if it's a Gen 3, Gen 4, or Gen 5 Glock, some of the slides you can get really cheap, like even the PSA Dagger ones. And then you can just move your guts over to the new slide, your striker and all that other stuff, extractor, etc. Or if you want to keep the stock slide, um, you could send it in to Vulcan Machine Works. They do awesome work. Slide Work Engineering has done some of mine. Uh, Man, there's so many people out there now. There's a lot of them I'm not even familiar with. It just depends on what you want to do. You can get some of these that I've seen those PSA Dagger ones with suppressor sights, even a threaded barrel. I saw a threaded barrel complete slide, and it was like super cheap. It was like 169 bucks, and it was milled for an RMR. I mean, if that's something that you're into, oh, it's a Gen 3. You got Gen 3, man. You've got so many different options. Yeah, Uncle Dan, we don't want to talk about that. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing now. You can get those. Thank you, Pistol Pete. You can get those slides, already milled. And since it's a Glock, you could always have an extra slide and an extra barrel if you get the threaded barrel version. I mean, that's just something to think about. Let me catch back up here. Gen 3 by a dagger. Yeah, that's what I was meaning, Scott. On the PSA, a lot of them do come with the internals. Yes, G23. I've heard not good things about those as well. Reloading can do it with a Dremel, but yeah, I mean, I think whatever you're into, go at it. Velcro should hold a dot or duct tape. Duct tape and baling wire will fix anything. Hell, we know that. Or a coat hanger. Get you a coat hanger. You can break into a car with a coat hanger, and you can tie up your exhaust, your muffler, so it doesn't drag the ground. Did y'all see the new Hennessy TRX 6x6, 1200 horsepower? If you haven't checked it out, it's called the Mammoth. That thing is freaking crazy. 1200 horsepower 6x6. Ram TRX by Hennessy. Man, that is insane. 4570 lever gun, you guys and gals think is good. Henry or Marlin? I mean, they're both good. I mean, I prefer the old Marlins, um, but I mean, it's kind of a toss up there. I do like the Marlin, that gray one, with the threaded barrel and all that other stuff. I mean, that's pretty badass. Nice watch. Looks like a presidential bracelet. Yeah, it's a day date. Day date presidents. There are a lot of there are a lot of Glock slides and Glock setups now. I mean, I even saw one that was threaded, comped. It had the sights in front of your optic. Your rear sight was in front of your optic. Um, I want to say it was a PSA dagger, and they even had it done OD green. So Henry makes a hell of a rifle. I think anything in a 4570, with Henry or any of them, I think could. I mean, I don't know how hot you're running it, but 4570 is no joke. So I'm sure they've got the correct barrel and uh, heat treatment and all that stuff set up for stuff like that. Oh, what did y'all think about CRS, man? Uh, Man, that is insane. I don't know if y'all have kept up with it, CRS firearms, about the auto key. You know, that is a mess. I mean, it's not like I watched every one of his videos because I didn't. But when all this stuff started coming down, I was like, "Are they serious?" Sure enough, he's in jail now. That is insane. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. On a 4570, I don't know what kind of. I mean, 4570s. That's a serious round. So I don't know how much hotter you're going to get it. Yeah, Uncle Dan, he supposedly, and this is the thing about that auto key card, supposedly it was approved in the beginning, and that's when he checked. I just, watched Guns and Gear video on it, Mr. Guns and Gear, and it was approved, and that's when he did the videos. And then they unapproved it but those videos were still out. So I don't know. But also, you're talking. You are talking. Your First Amendment right. You're talking. That's why I just, I don't know. I think that they are. I think they are trying to make an example out of him with all this crap that's going on. I think they're hanging him out to dry. Hello, Armament and Axis. How are you, sir? 10 millimeter AR if you lived in bear country. Yeah, hopefully they get after this ATF crap about about the brace. Yep, Pistol Pete. They have been doing that for a while with a lot of veterans and things like that. I have a veteran friend of mine that goes to the VA, and he tells me that a lot of people that he knows will not get on certain medications because of that reason, because all of it is charted and documented. So that does not surprise me. Yeah, I hope CRS gets out of all this crap too. I mean, he's married with two kids and, small kids and all that, man. It's just horrible. Correct, Scott. Yep, yep. He says him and his buddies have been going through that for quite a while. Hell, I bet a lot of stuff is hard to find in rural Alaska. Oh, whew. Sorry, I'm just trying to breathe a little bit. Let's see here. Anybody seen anything super exciting that you must have from either on, from the last NRA show? Anybody seen anything? Had my eye on a 10 millimeter best AR build thing. Yeah, and I mean, pistol caliber carbines are super fun. The only thing when you're, getting into something like that, I would, I mean, I still would rather have a rifle, even a small rifle or PDW, um, with like a 30 cal or something like that personally. But I mean, 10 millimeters, not a joke. It's a great round. Yep, Uncle Dan wants the TX22 compact. Yeah, I know he's been talking to me about that. What the? Whoops. I want the Hollow Sun competition. Yeah, I've been waiting for that optic, and I haven't seen it anywhere. I'm on a bunch of lists for it too. Oh, Dennis, I'm okay. I mean, man, I've been going to bed at like freaking 8:30 and 9 o'clock, trying to get over this crud. Uh, Pistol Pete is saying, "What is the next pistol you'll pick up?" Um, Man, I've been thinking about that. I mean, honestly, I have. I've been like, what do I need or what do I want? And I keep thinking, there's nothing that I have to have. I mean, I have all the pistols that I have, I really enjoy. And I have a bunch of pistols that just sit there. Um, you know, I mean, I've been thinking, okay, is there another cool 22? Is there another cool this or that. And honestly, I can't think of anything. Um, Not saying it won't happen, but if something comes out really cool, but a lot of these things that I'm seeing that are coming out, it's like the hot new thing, like the Rock Island RIA, 5.0 or whatever. That was supposed to be the hottest thing, and that was a big flash in the pan. Um, the platypus is pretty cool. Uncle Dan and I were talking about that. And, if you have a lot of Glock mags and you're a Glock guy and you're thinking about getting into a 2011, that could be a very good option for a lot of people. I mean, that kind of has me intrigued. Um, and Humble has one. I mean, I could easily go shoot it. It's just that I've been traveling so much. Um, but I don't know. I mean, I guess if I had to think about it, honestly, it might be that platypus. If I was definitely going to buy something, it might be the platypus. People's thoughts on Crimson Trace. I mean, I don't think that they're bad. I had played with one. This was one of the earlier ones. And had it on a pistol, or it was on a pistol, and I was, going really, kind of like I was pretending like I was transitioning from, one target to another target in the gun store against the wall. Nobody, it was a plain wall. Um, and it had a really shitty refresh rate, but that was when they first came out. I'm sure they're better now. I just haven't played with one since, so I really don't know. But I mean, like I said, a lot of those have came a long time, or they've been working on a lot of them to making them better. So they already did. Scott, there is a new one. He's asking, how long do you think somebody comes out with a pistol optic like Smith and Wesson one, where fiber optics, so no batteries? There already is one. Ruger came out with it. It's got a fiber optic all wound up in it. You can check it out. There was a video on it that I saw from NRA show. And there's no batteries, supposedly, and there's no adjustment. You can't turn it up or down. There's no even way to adjust it, like left or right or any of that. You just put it on, and on a subcompact, it's supposed to pretty much be pre-zeroed. So it's called the Ruger One Shot or something like that, One Dot. So you can check it out. But I was looking at it, I was like, oh, well, okay, you know, that could be something. I've seen the Alpha Foxtrots, the S15s. Heard some good and some bad about them, but I think that was the earlier production ones where they were having some issues, but they're probably good now. Any experience with the TS 1911? Seems like they get positive reviews for the price. I personally have not played with them. I think Hot Pot, he's really into that brand. Yeah, he might have one. You'd have to check. Maybe check on his videos. I thought he had one, but he's got, I think, a couple of those. G23 says he has a couple of new firearms waiting in FFL gel for Oregon to run the 4473. What do you have waiting in the FFL gel? Just curious. There's just nothing that, I'm just super must have. And got a bad review from 704 Tactical. Oh, okay, Scott. Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. Yeah, I don't have any firsthand knowledge on it or anything. I just saw it like you did. Ooh. David is asking Ruger American and 22 LR or Ruger 1022. It depends on what you're going to do with it. I mean, they're both great guns. If you want to do any upgrades, I would go with the Ruger 1022. Tandem Cross has so many upgrades for that. I mean, you could change out the trigger, you could change out all kinds of things. I'm hearing about the CZ Shadow Compact. We'll see what that's all about. Yeah, speaking of that, the CZ Shadow 2, I saw them for the Urban Gray editions. I saw them for what was it, 849. So that was a pretty good price. Charles Daly, Pack 9, an Olympic Arms 40, Smith& Wesson PCC. Cool, man. Always good to get some more guns. Cheetah 80X is really nice, but I don't have to use for a 380. Yeah, they do look cool. Yeah, the 1022 has tons of aftermarket stuff. And I mean, honestly, I had 1022s back in the day, and I always said that everybody needed a Ruger 1022. And of course, I don't have one now, but I've got other 22s. And honestly, my favorite semi-automatic is my Smith& Wesson AR 1522. I actually do prefer it over my Ruger 1022 personally, because your manual of arms, if you have ARs or AR-10s or 300 blackouts or whatever, um, I prefer that manual of arms, to use with my other rifles versus a 1022 platform. Just a personal opinion, though. Yeah, they have been making that. CZ Custom made it also. Dollar Bill Me is saying, I am probably going to pick up a 92X XI or a DWX soon. That's cool, man. No, I did not go to the NRA. And I mean, of course, with the new job, working like crazy, but I did not go to the NRA and Indy. I know a lot of people did, but I did not. Oops, hang on. What's up, Big J? I'm hoteling it tonight, too. Yeah, I'm in my suite with my 1987 blinds. No, this is actually a pretty cool hotel. These are very nice people. Lancer has 20% off all alien guns. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're feeling the crunch right now with a lot of people holding back and not spending all that money, so they probably need to move those items. Dirt Track is saying, thinking of getting my Staccato P V8 ported. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I know that Vinny does it, and also Vulcan Machine Works does it too. Yeah, as y'all know, I am a huge 300 Blackout fan. Bear Creek Arsenal, I personally don't have a lot of experience with it. I know Uncle Dan does. He's messed with a lot of those. Ball, did you? No, okay. I was gonna say Ball still has his alien. Last time I went to the NRA show was when it was in Dallas. Harry flew down, and he and I were together and did that NRA show. Oh, cool. Trigger Bar Philosopher said, Cajun Gunworks just finished my P01 Omega trigger job and slide cut. Super excited to get it on Friday. That's awesome, man. I'm sure you'll really enjoy it. Yeah, it's supposed to be in Dallas 2024. They'll probably have it at the same place they had the other one, the convention center. I'm not a big fan of the NRA, and that is if they make it till 2024. Oh, okay. Lago Arms is going to start making them here. Okay. Well, if they're making it here, the prices should go down on it too. I wonder if they're going to do different variants also. Maybe like a compact and things like that. That might be kind of cool. Yeah, IBG, the aliens are not cheap. I mean, they're good guns. Hell, I shot balls before we got it, or back a while back, and it is a good gun. The only problem I had is when it gets dirty, it starts kind of getting sluggish, but not a big deal. You just got to clean it. Yeah, and this is, I've been asked many times if, like what's the most I would pay for a gun and things like that. Would I buy an alien and things like that? And nothing's wrong with the gun. It's just, it's kind of intended for a certain purpose. Um, so, like when I did the review on it, the thing I was saying is, would I rather have a staccato or would I rather have an alien? Well, I mean, obviously, with my staccato, I would shoot it a lot more. It seems more common use. Not saying you couldn't use an alien for home defense or whatever. Would be, I mean, you could carry it, I guess, if you wanted to, but it just doesn't seem very practical. Um, but I would still probably go with the 2011. I mean, they both shoot great, but it's just a very specific type gun. Yeah, good old Wayne and his suits. Wonder how many suits he bought for this last show. Or I guess I should say, how many suits the NRA followers bought him. But yeah, that new truck is very nice. It's got Apple CarPlay. I have heated and air conditioned seats. This does too. Um, I like my rear storage area set up better than the new truck. This new truck has Harman and Kardon sound system, which sounds really nice. Mine has Infinity. Um, they've done a lot of upgrades, especially as far as your center console, or your media console. It's a really nice display setup. The center console area where it slides and stuff, it's okay. That part's not my favorite. They tried to make it so you can move it and do all these different things with it. Um, but yeah, you still have an armrest. So when you slide it back, then your drink gets hung. And if you move it forward, then you can't use your phone holder. So I don't know. But like I said, it's a very nice truck. Rides really good. But I do notice on that 3.0 Eco Boost, or not Eco Boost, Eco Diesel, that as far as like off the line torque, I mean it's got torque because it's a diesel, but it doesn't have like horsepower, off the line horsepower, of course, because it's a diesel. But and as far as your get up and go, like if you got a really haul ass, kind of takes a little bit to get it going. But once it goes, it goes. But it's just your average diesel. And the DEF fluid is a pain in the ass. I drove diesels back when we didn't mess with that shit. I think that's a freaking scam anyway. Oh, also, if anybody's interested, Grab a Gun has CZP10Ss. They have the FDE and the OD Green for like 349 bucks. They just did an alert on it. I think it's 12 round capacity. If anybody's interested in an S, 7.5 Bruno pistols. Hell, you saw the all steel ones, which were freaking insane with prices like 8 grand, 10 grand. Then they had the polymer ones. Um, I mean, for one, that round is not easy to get. Um, it's very boutique. I mean, it is a freaking hand cannon, but they just kind of went away. Wayne Newton, that's funny, man. Wayne Newton, Mr. Vegas. My Chevette has a ghetto blaster in the back seat. Sweet. Walk around with it like that. Oh yeah. Well, there's multiple scams in this automotive industry. Deathflood is a scam, and also ethanol is a scam. I don't care what anybody says, ethanol is a complete and utter scam. That shit is garbage. I mean, if you ever pull apart fuel tanks and fuel lines, you will see how bad ethanol is. That shit looks like freaking snot. Yeah, CZ is they're discontinuing the S from what I understand. They've got their new suppressor sights and optic ready P10s, P10Fs. They've released. Rumor is they've got another gun coming, a striker fire gun, but I don't know. That's just a rumor. IBG is asking Oh Big J, question from last week. What does the recoil on a 10 millimeter feel like more than a 45? I mean, it's going to depend on the gun. And this is very difficult to say. Whenever anybody asks me recoil, I'm probably not the best judge of recoil because I'm not recoil sensitive. Some people are. Um, I would say this is probably the easiest way that I could say it. 45 to me, this is to me, and see if y'all agree or disagree. 45 to me has more push. 45 kind of has push. 10 millimeter, depending on the barrel length, has a little more flip. Um, and of course, it's going to depend on the gun with both of those scenarios. I would say if you have a steel 45 and you have a steel 10 millimeter, to me, they feel the same. Um, in a polymer gun, it's going to depend on the recoil spring, the way that it's set up. And like I've said before, this is really crazy. I have the little Shield 45, little tiny sucker, Shield 45. They did a dual setup recoil spring on that gun. And for a small 45, that thing really has no recoil and very little push. There's a lot of variables there. I'm not sensitive to either one. It just depends on which one you want. I think you would be fine with either one of them. Yeah, I mean, I don't. It's funny. Everybody thinks a 10 millimeter is like some hand cannon, and it's not. I mean, you shoot a 500 Smith and Wesson, a 460 Casull. That's where you're going to get into hand cannon shit. It's a scam. It's all a scam. That is why they do it. It's a freaking scam. And also, it's for emissions. If you go to Oklahoma, they are a non emission county. Ethanol is not mandatory. You can still run regular unleaded in Oklahoma and many other states. It's a freaking scam. And it is shit on your cars. And don't even get me into 85 freaking E85. And you can make some performance race cars run E85, but E85 is shit also. If you look at your gas mileage or your miles per gallon on E85, and it even says it in the owner's manual, but nobody ever reads it. If you run E85 on most modern vehicles, you're going to get about 12 miles to the gallon. It's crap. Yeah, that's why you can't run ethanol in like chainsaws. I mean, they always say not to, in chainsaws, weed eaters, and shit like that because it'll chew the shit out of them. And if you look at it on most of your like your primer bulbs, where you press it and prime it for like your weed eaters and your blowers and shit like that, all of that stuff is made out of rubber. Well, guess what? Ethanol eats. It freaking eats rubber and gaskets and shit like that. Short barrel 10 millimeter, you go blind and deaf. Yeah, a lot. I mean, you can actually go in and read the stories on ethanol and how it was brought in and how it was pushed. Man, there was some people that made some serious backdoor money off that ethanol deal, and still to this day are making it because they put lead in paint. No, I'm just joking. The gun snob. Look at this. Just showed up in time to hear you give another reason why Oklahoma is better. Okay, I got one for you. Oklahoma is better because Oklahoma sucks so hard that Texas won't fall in the ocean. Boom, boom. Tsh. There you go. Just Josh and me. I have plenty of friends in Oklahoma. We get that Red River rivalry going every year. Everything will smell like French fries or popcorn. Yeah, I used to have a buddy of mine that made his own biodiesel um, out of peanut oil and all that shit from a lot of the chicken fry shacks and stuff like that. And he made his own biodiesel with that stuff. Yeah, the Shadow 2 is actually 849 for the Urban Gray edition. That's what I said earlier on the chat. Yeah, CZ Scorpions are going down a lot. Anything with the brace is going down. Oh yeah, Uncle Dan has an Okie phone number. I forgot about that. But we always going to be on top. All right. Like I said, man, I love my Oklahoma people too. Yeah, I'm up here in good old West Texas in Lubbock. So got a bunch of Red Raiders out here. Here we go. Of all the states, whom gets shit on the most? Wow. I would say any of them blue for me. But I'm definitely not a fan of New York. Never have been. Um, I don't know. I mean, I'm not. I look at it this way. I don't live there, so shit doesn't affect me personally. I don't like their laws because I keep thinking that shit's going to trickle. But also, California is a freaking train wreck. Fried okra. Yes, I have seen videos of that, and back when I was younger, or not younger, but you know, like gosh, first married and stuff, my wife always used to like to go to, like San Diego and where's another place that she liked to go. So we would do some California trips, but when all this shit started going south a long time ago, I was like, California's not getting a penny of my money, so we haven't ever been back. That's funny. I was in Texas last week, and as always, Bucky's cost me $175 to get out of the store. and that was before I filled up. Yeah, Bucky's is awesome. That is the most awesome convenience store I've ever been in my life. It's a freaking mall. I mean, their food's good, not all of their food, and their barbecue's not that great. So don't think you're getting Texas barbecue. I mean, not the Texas barbecue that I would recommend. But yeah, for a convenience store, man, it's awesome. Cleanest bathrooms in the world. Each one of them have over 100 gas pumps. I mean, that place is legit. And I've been to the original one way back when, and I mean, that place was tiny. Um, and man, that guy has got a monster of a business. Yeah, yeah, I think New York is between New York and California. I would say those are the two that get shit on the most. But a lot of that shit they bring on themselves. That's why people are bailing from those places and coming to Texas and Oklahoma. We have a lot of California people that moved into our neighborhoods. Hell, like my neighbor across the street, they sold their house, and a California couple moved there. But luckily, they have our values. They didn't try to bring their shit with them. And then about three houses down, a couple from California live there now too. And I really don't know them. Yep, you can't chew on those big mints for very long though. Makes your mouth irritated. Oh, okay. Alaska has something similar to Bucky's. Three Bears, best store in South Central and Central. Huh, I've never heard of that. New York rules. All these laws are keeping us safe. Guns are scary. You keep drinking that Kool-Aid, Bald. Hopefully you'll be out of there soon. But anything else fun and exciting, or anything that y'all want to ask? Um, I probably will be doing some rifle shooting. With work, I've just been so busy, and then when I get home on the weekends, it's like trying to catch up with honeydews and all the stuff just around the house. Plus, man, I've been putting in some serious miles, so I kind of need a couple of days to recover. But next week, I will be going to Arkansas. So with this new job, it's a lot of travel, especially at first. Um, I've just got a lot of customers I've got to meet and kind of conquer and get them locked down. So, just a ton of travel. But hopefully, in a couple of weeks, I can ease it back a bit. But like I said, I'm enjoying the job, customers, all that stuff. Everything's great. No issues. I heard that they're expanding. Hell, they're in Alabama now. Um, I mean, they're popping up all over the place. So, hell, maybe you might get one. TS2 orange and 9 millimeter, not the 40. Well, that was the green. I was gonna say Texas Gun Experience had a green one and a blue one. I don't know if they still do, and it was in 9, not 40. The TS2 in orange is made in 9, and I've seen them, but last time I was in there, they didn't have the orange. Dirt Trike says thumbs up for the chat. Thumbs up for buying more guns and ammo. I agree with that. Thumbs up. Um, Also, what is it? Crap. I just said it earlier. The name of the store, Grab a Gun. They also have 115 grain ammo for like 12.99 a box. If anybody needs any, but that's not a super price. But David, people's thoughts on light laser combo. I've got a video on it. You can check it out. I am not a fan. I am not a fan of lasers, period, unless it's night vision. I don't care for the laser light combo personally, but that's just my opinion. Some people really like it. I'm just not a fan of them. And it is less common to find a holster for a laser light combo. Not saying they don't make them, but not as common as a light. So, yeah, IR lasers, that's different. But yeah, that's right. Bucky's has two stores in Florida. Yeah, man, gosh, can you imagine what that guy's making off those stores? Wow, that's insane. Two guys started Bucky's, still friends to this day. And what's funny is their original little motto or mascot wasn't even a beaver. I think it was a dog. Yeah, I think Bucky's was originally a dog, and then they changed it to the Bucky Beaver. It's a cool store though. Pistol Pete says he used to have some Crimson Tray stuff. No more for me. Yeah, I've got two dots. They're both exactly the same. A company sent them to me. It's the new Pro. It's like a little RMSC footprint. Kind of looks like a miniature SRO. Um, I forget the name of it. Chile. I think it's a Chile. Kind of looks like a little miniature SRO, and I've got two of them. They asked if they wanted to send me one, and I said sure. I said if you want to send one, send two, so that way I can destroy one of them. So they agreed that I can do a torture test on one of them. And of course, you know me, I'm going to tell you if it's good or bad or whatever I decide on it. It's supposed to be submersible in the water, so we're going to put it in water. Um, I'll probably throw it around and see what happens to it. But, you know, we'll see how that little dot is. They're like 140 or 150 bucks, 160 bucks. Or I think it was 179 on Amazon or something. But we'll see how it holds up. Lake Jackson, I God, I've been to the original store. It even says the original store. Shit. Maybe that is Lake Jackson. I don't know, Uncle Dan. I can't remember. I know I've been to the original one because it says this is the original Bucky's and it's not that big. Because at first I was like, this is a Bucky's? Kind of reminded me of the old Stuckies. I don't know if y'all remember Stuckies, but man, that used to be the shit when I was a kid. Get all those little crazy candy bars and pecan logs and all that shit. That's kind of what Bucky's reminded me of. So thank you, Dennis. I appreciate it so much, man. Yeah, I'll get better. I'll kick this crap. But we will shut this down. Chris has his chat after this, so y'all can tune in over there. Chris at the 740. Go and check his chat out. Good guys. I always want to support everyone that I can. But if y'all need anything, have any questions after this chat, please leave your comments, and I will get back with you as soon as possible. Hey, Redbird, how are you? Hello, Rabbi. Good to see y'all. Thank you. Appreciate it, Redbird. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, Rabbi. Greetings from Central America. Where the hell are you? Oh, goodbye from Central America. Gotcha. All right. Well, I hope y'all have a great night. You know, love one another, all that good stuff. Remember, carry on. That's kind of what this is all about. Always carry a gun on you. You don't ever know what's going to happen. But y'all have a great night. Take care, everyone. And remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation, so we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone.